Welcome to the Graduate School of Biological Sciences at Mount Sinai. I'm John Morrison, Dean of Basic Sciences and the Graduate School of Biological Sciences, and unfortunately I can't be with you there in person, but with the help of Jose, I'm there by video. I'm in San Diego with my family. Unfortunately, orientation coincided with the week that we take what you would call a vacation, but what I call an opportunity for my prefrontal neurons to recover. If you want to know more about stress and prefrontal neurons and recovery, you can talk to Eric Bloss, a graduate student in my lab. He'll tell you all about it. It's his thesis project. So what I would like to do is go through 10 things that I've learned about graduate school. And hopefully my insights that have taken several years to learn will help you over the next couple of years. So let's start with number 1. Intelligence, creativity, and passion are important but not enough. You need desire, drive, and discipline. You're going to be working with intelligent, creative, and passionate people for the rest of your career, and I'm sure you have those attributes. What I learned in graduate school is that the level of desire, drive, and discipline that was going to be required to be a successful scientist was way beyond what I'd acquired as an undergraduate. So I think you'll probably experience the same thing, and that will be the maturation that will be required of you to be truly successful. If you played sports growing up, or were in performing arts, or played an instrument, or anything that required that same kind of drive and discipline, that will come in handy to you as you learn science. Number 2, enjoy the process of your training, but it is not so bad to be in a bit of a hurry. What do I mean by this? Well, it's very, very important for you to enjoy the process each day, each week, each month, and you will. But particularly those of you in the Ph.D. program, there's no defined endpoint. You're finished when your thesis is finished. So looking toward that endpoint can get in your way a little bit, but at the same time, it's not so bad to be in a bit of a hurry and really be aware of the fact that time is going by and you need to hit your milestones and you need to move on with your career. So that's why I say that you want to balance between enjoying the process and seeing that end point. Okay, number 3, choose your thesis advisor carefully. The thesis is the most important part of PhD education, and the master's students will also spend a lot of time on their thesis. Yet it doesn't exist when you enter graduate school. PhD education is really different from law school or med school or business school or most of the other graduate programs, because the most important part of what you will do is your thesis project, and yet you don't even know what that is yet. So your thesis advisor is critically important, and the lab that you enter is critically important. It has to feel right to you, and you have to have a good relationship with your thesis advisor. And it has to be science that you can be passionate about. So if that all works, then it's very likely that you'll develop a successful thesis project. But it's a little disconcerting initially because, as I said, you don't even know what your thesis project is yet. So that's an all-important decision. Number 4 is a related issue. It is essential to design a thesis with your advisor. Don't expect it to evolve from an interesting project. You'll enter the lab and you'll sit down with your thesis advisor, and he or she will say something like, I have an interesting project for you. And you'll think, that is an interesting project, I want to do that. But that won't necessarily evolve into a thesis project without you sitting down with your advisor and designing a thesis project with 3 specific aims or more, or sometimes 2, each specific aim designed to generate a manuscript and a publication, and each related to the other 2 specific aims, so that you have, in the end, a story that is yours that you can tell the world through your publications and your presentations. Okay, number 5. Learn to take advantage of a short interaction with your mentor or mentors. Explain the problem in 5 minutes and bring data. I learned this more in my postdoc, actually, than as a graduate student, because as a graduate student I was in a small lab. As a postdoc I was with Floyd Bloom at the Salk Institute in a lab of about 45 people. And Floyd had an open door policy. as long as you were only going to take 5 minutes. If you were going to take more than 5 minutes, you had to make an appointment. So I learned fairly quickly to take best advantage of those 5 minutes. And one of the most important things I learned was to be able to state the problem to Floyd literally in a minute or two. And he would get it. He was very, very quick. And then always bring data, because if you bring data, then you've captured his attention or your mentor's attention, and you'll get more than 5 minutes. Because all of us are data junkies. And when you bring us data, we just love it. So always try to have some data with you on these short meetings, and you'll get a lot more out of them. Number 6, expand your sphere of mentors. This is really very, very important for all of you, whether you're in a master's program or a Ph.D. program. You'll have a key mentor, but scientists are coming through here all the time. You'll be going to meetings and have the opportunity to meet other scientists. There are other scientists in your department, in this institution, doing related work. There are collaborating teams you'll be working with. These are all potential mentors for you. And I mean lifelong mentors. My graduate student mentor and my postdoctoral mentor are still important people to me, but there are other people I met through the years that have served as critically important mentors to me and still do, in fact. So when you have the opportunity, introduce yourself to key scientists and establish a relationship with them. It'll be of great help to you. Number 7, discovery is exhilarating, but rigor is essential. Now, what do I mean by this? I remember when I was in graduate school, I got such a kick out of looking through the microscope and seeing something for the first time that nobody else had ever seen. Discovery. And we all go into this because we're turned on by discovery. But that's that initial moment. What you have to follow that up with is a rigorous examination of the issues and rigorous experimental design, rigorous quantitation, and the full analysis that has to follow that initial discovery. Otherwise, it won't mean very much, and you won't be able to tell it to the world in a way that's meaningful. So you have to be able to bring rigor into your work and your analysis at every single stage. But enjoy discovery, because that's what's going to keep you going. Number 8, closure is key, particularly with respect to the transition from the bench to the publication. This is a different way of looking at the discovery versus rigor that I just referred to. One of the things that I found difficult to learn in graduate school, but finally did learn, is that you have to bring the project to closure, you as an individual. You have to go through every stage of the bench work, but that's, again, just the beginning. You then have to analyze the data, go through the data with your advisor, prepare the manuscript with your advisor and your collaborators, submit the manuscript, get reviews that are going to make you angry, fix the manuscript, send it back, comes back again, you may have to fix it again, you may have to do more experiments, and it isn't finished until the paper is finally accepted and you get the proofs and review the proofs. So it's a long process, and you have to see it through to closure. And this is something that you'll learn over the next several years. Number 9, this is really critically important in modern medical biology. You will rarely, if ever, work in isolation. Learn to collaborate and be intellectually generous. Not only will you work on a team in your lab, but you will work on a team of teams, because your team will likely be collaborating with other labs. So this notion, almost cartoonish notion, of a scientist at the bench in his lab coat working in isolation, it just isn't the way it works anymore. You have to be ready to be, as I say here, intellectually generous with your collaborators. You don't want to hold back. These are your teammates. And your team can do a lot more than you would be able to do in isolation. And your team of teams will be able to address really large, important biological problems that you would never be able to address in isolation. So this is a key lesson. Number 10, this is one of my favorites because it moves a little bit outside of what you'll be doing in the lab or in your coursework to your colleagues. Your colleagues will be interesting, intelligent people from all over the world. Enjoy this special community. you're going to meet people from all over America and all over the world in the next couple of days at Mount Sinai. As you go through your schooling and then into your career, you're going to continue to meet people from all over the world. You'll visit them in their homes, you'll visit them in their labs, you'll be working with them. This is a great, great community of people, and it has no boundaries. And it's the part of my life and my wife's life that we've enjoyed the most, that we have met this circle of friends all over the place, and they're just wonderful people. So you will be part of a really unique community of scholars, and you should enjoy that. And finally, I actually have 11, not 10. Have fun. This is really important. You know, this is going to be rigorous. It's going to be hard, but you should have fun. I had a lot of fun in graduate school. You know, we had the classic work hard, play hard approach, and I would encourage you to do the same thing. It should be a really enjoyable phase of your life. So that's about all I have to say. I'm going to go to the beach and have a good time, and I'll see you when I get back.